In 1979, the city of Split, which was at the time a part of the Socialist Republic of Yugoslavia, hosted the 8th Mediterranean Games. 14 countries participated in a total of 26 sports, the largest number of disciplines up to that date. The mascot of the Games, Adriana, the Mediterranean monk seal. Adriana belongs to a family of earless seals, also known as true seals. This particular creature is considered to be the rarest of all seals and one of the most endangered mammals in the world. What was once a thriving population, the seals no longer exist in the Adriatic. They were hunted and exterminated by fishermen because they often destroyed their nets or chased away the fish.
A threatened species by definition is the one that may become extinct if we don't take certain measures to protect it. An endangered species is the one that has a very small remaining population and is at a much greater risk of becoming extinct. Many species that go extinct never even make it to the endangered species list. That is an indicator of how rapidly a species can go fully extinct unless we act to preserve it. Threats to marine species are more difficult to identify than threats to land-based animals, for a very simple reason that marine world is not directly in front of us. It is not visible to us. But unfortunately, marine creatures are equally, if not more, vulnerable to issues such as habitat destruction and overexploitation. These days, marine animals that have to surface in order to breathe the air, such as turtles, manatees, dugongs, and whales, get hit by boats more often than you think due to an increased presence of humans on oceans and seas, or they get entangled in nets and other fishing gear. Species such as turtles that need to lay their eggs on land often lose their nurseries due to excessive coastal development. Loss of habitat, spread of diseases, pollution, unsustainable fishing practices, these are all directly relating to human activities, and solutions are not as straightforward as we would like. Many marine species live in small, specific habitats which need basically protection from further devastation. This is a problem we can address more easily. Others, however, require protection across the entire migration routes, which cover vast areas and include breeding and feeding grounds. We are partially addressing this problem with marine protected areas, or MPAs, which can definitely help protect and restore threatened species and their habitats. But these are limited in size and are therefore only aimed at protecting the marine life that inhabits these specific areas. Until recently, humankind seemed to perceive the ocean as a source of infinite resources. Its vast size and depth and the unexplored frontiers made the ocean appear invulnerable to overexploitation. The truth is that the population of many species are decreasing at an unsustainable rate, and the number of threatened, endangered, or even extinct species is on the rise. And if you think this is limited to marine life, think again. The Atlantic salmon, for example, is down to 1% of its original population size, yet it is a primary source of food for many land-based animals, bears, wolves, eagles, and other birds. This is what we call a keystone species. Just imagine the devastating effect to entire ecosystems if such species was to become extinct. The International Union for Conservation of Nature, or the IUCN Red List of Threatened Species, defines the conservation status for different species and indicates how many of them still exist out there, whether they're increasing or decreasing in numbers, how well they're reproducing, and if their population faces any potential threats. There are several conservation categories defined by the list. We have extinct versus extinct in the wild. We have endangered and critically endangered. We obviously have those with less concerns as well. But in total, 5,652 marine species are in serious trouble. Steller's sea cow, for example, is listed as extinct, and no one ever expects to see one of these creatures again. There are some animals that have gone extinct in the wild but still exist in captivity. For example, the dromedary camel or the Przewalski's horse. Some of the marine animals teetering above extinction and found on the critically endangered list are coelacanths, which are basically a fish, prehistoric fish that still exists today, a southern bluefin tuna, hawkbills, and leatherback sea turtles. The endangered animals include loggerheads, green and olive Ridley sea turtles, various species of sawfishes, and blue whales. Dugongs, humphead wresses, whale shark, humpback whales, gray nurse shark, and great white sharks are just some examples of marine animals that will likely go extinct soon unless we take major actions to preserve them. Then there is, of course, a great number of endangered species that still need to be put on that list. Sometimes this process takes time because of a very simple fact that the definition of what is considered endangered or threatened can vary greatly. So sometimes we're not taking any actions to protect an endangered species due to sheer bureaucracy. There is a great controversy surrounding the endangered species list related to issues like when should the species be removed from the list, or whether governments can in fact protect certain habitats by blocking the development of land that is considered to be someone else's private property, or finding loopholes in protection laws. And finally, placing a species on the endangered list often causes the value of such species to soar, which poachers and collectors often see as an opportunity or a challenge.